Ladies and gentlemen, this is JoeJinMovieSoAwesome. I'm Joe.
I'm Won-Jin.
Today, me and Won-Jin, we are going to review Avatar 2 today. Before that, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Christmas Eve is here. I hope you all have a merry, merry time.
And, spoiler alert.
Yep, spoilers.
Major spoilers.
You know, Won-Jin, let me go first.
Okay.
When they told me that the couple, they had 4 kids, I knew immediately that one was going to die.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, because I thought, after all, this is a family movie.
No.
It's also designed for children.
No.
I thought that was not going to happen.
No, if they did 3, I would have said they're all going to live. But when they said 4, I was like, huh, that's a weird number. Didn't The Incredibles also have 3 kids? And I was like, what's up with this? And then the only thing I got wrong was which kid was going to die. Because I'm going to sound really mean, but I thought the kid is the baby was going to die.
Oh, the young girl one.
Yeah, because, you know.
What was her name? Tuk?
Yeah. Took. Oh, by the way, the kids are designed so well that I could tell the difference between them all the time. And they look like their parents. Except Kiri, of course, who looks like Sigourney
Weaver, that's right. Also voiced by Sigourney Weaver.
Man, that was a good work by her. But anyway, I was still shocked when it happened. I mean, I think this is it gave gravity to the situation without being too much, though. You know, this is a very family-friendly movie. You know, honestly, after the ending credit, I thought it would say Walt Disney. I was like, man, Cameron, wow. Like, I guess it kind of shows that he's a parent himself, I assume.
And also, it might be the influence of, 20th Century Fox being merged. Acquired by Disney. So I'm pretty sure there might be some influence by Disney. Who knows?
Because I got less of this vibe from the first Avatar, to be honest. That was also, I guess, a family-friendly one. It's romantic. But this one is like full Disney for me. Yeah. Like, this is the most Disney movie Cameron ever made. But I'm not complaining because I gotta be honest, I teared up in some scenes.
Yeah.
I really did. I was surprised at like some of the emotional moments. I think in that aspect, it's better than the first one.
Yeah.
Because first one, I don't remember ever shedding a tear. I was like, yeah, fuck it, get that guy. I was like, blow up that ship. Oh shit, those arrows go through those glasses. I mean, there are moments here, but this one was the family dynamic was done really well, really well, and I think it gives the main character a lot of depth that I think the first movie didn't have. The first movie almost felt like he was like every man. It almost like he was us joining in this world, being like matrixed inside the blue people.
Yeah, and at first it's kind of like his escape,
right? And
then it becomes his reality.
Yeah, because in the first one, he's excited. His excitement kind of represents our excitement about finding out about Pandora and all these blue people, because he was like a jocked up Marine basically. But this one is completely, now it's just like, yep, he's here. He's one of the natives. And another great surprise was the Free Willy part that I did not see coming.
You know my favorite part in the entire movie?
I know which one you're gonna say. This one.
It's the moment where the Tulkun.
Yeah, Tulkun.
What was his name?
Yeah, I think it's Tulkun.
The outcast?
Yeah.
The outcast dude. He had a name, I forgot.
Yeah, it's something like Tul.
No, I mean, their kind is called Tulkun, but I forgot his name. But the outcast whale, when he goes for that revenge that he had so wanted, that was my favorite part.
Yeah,
I love the fact that he chopped off the whale hunter's arm.
Yeah.
Because remember, he lost his fin.
Right.
And an arm for an arm.
Yeah.
And you could, I mean, they can't speak like human language, but James Cameron did such a good job to show the complete fury and rage of the whale, like after when he sees the hostage situation. Right. You can see that he's completely agitated.
He bashes his head around.
And he just unleashes all that fury and anger.
Yeah. I mean, if Free Willy had hands, like, he would get M16. This is what would happen, right? I was kind of... And it was really exciting because, like, I was surprised at the whole whale sequence. because like, first of all, I did not expect that from coming. It starts around like the hour and 30-minute mark, right? I was like, so we're about to reach the climax, right? But suddenly, like these like Lion King Puma moment where like kids get to know each other. There's bullying and there's bonding, and then, at first I didn't like it. I was like, well, don't we have a destination to go where Stephen Lang is coming here to fuck you all up? But and then by the time the mother and the baby whale died, I was like almost tearing up. I was like,
that was brutal.
Holy shit, they had a name and they had friends. I was like, what the fuck?
And all for that little liquid.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And it was especially sad because that's what we used to do with sperm whales.
Right. Yeah.
Because the oil from the sperm whale was like top notch.
Right. For fire.
Yeah, and they killed a lot of those whales. And it was also like one of the main ingredients of fragrances.
Yeah, so this is basically a darker version of Free Willy, but also a lighter version of Moby Dick, where Ahab doesn't. There's no Ahab. Like the white whale doesn't come here. He just does a American football style bash and make sure only the bad guys die. And that was awesome. That was really awesome. But another thing I really enjoyed about it is like, you know, James Cameron is such a master storyteller, and I think we got this right on our preview before this movie dropped. Is that it's still a very conventional story, with just a lot and lots of sci-fi element that they don't explain, and that's good. They're just like, yep, these blue people, we copied them, and now they're soldiers. And Stephen Lang is back. He's still like, he's really awesome, by the way. I love how
I always liked that character.
Oh yeah,
what's his name? Colonel Quaritch.
Yeah. I mean, like, and you know, given that there were just so many characters, I mean, some of them I thought were not good. I mean, they were good, but they were not as good as the other ones. But it's so funny that even with the 3-hour runtime, with so many characters, everybody gets an arc. Like even the bad guy. Yeah. Because in the first one, I felt he was more generic, but this one, they add that weird sci-fi stuff,
and they also add the sun element, Spider.
Yeah. And you know,
that kind of complicated things for Quaritch.
I could tell that, you know, James Cameron and I think director Rodriguez did what's that female android movie they did together? The Attila or something? Anita?
Oh, Alita, Battle Angel.
Yeah.
Alita. Yeah.
So, like, I want to say they are definitely influenced by a lot of 80s, like, Japanese animation and, like, American, like, sci-fi novels at the same time. Because the Japanese anime get influenced by the American sci-fi novels that came up in the 50s, 60s, 70s. But here we get a lot of that, and what's really good is, you know, we live in a world that we're used to it, so they just pass it along. There are a lot of Matrix concepts here, by the way, like Matrix-like. Like, you know, the Pandora planet is a Matrix on its own.
I mean, they just choose not to dive too deep into it, which I think is a good thing for this to be a family movie. Right. And also, like you said, if you think about it carefully, Quaritch being revived into an avatar body, that raises also a lot of questions. Right. So what is he then? It's like because he could have like an identity crisis. He even checks his own corpse. Right. His dead body.
No, but I like how, see, this is why James Cameron is brilliant. I like how without any dialogue, he just looks at his skull and crushes it. Right? That just means a lot of things. First of all, it shows his character. He doesn't give a fuck. Number two, it doesn't fucking matter. Like, I'm me. And then that kind of sets up the later confusion about, like, because we're not sure if he loves his son or not. But, you know, because when the mother is...
When she's fucking pissed.
One of the best scenes in the movie, right?
My favorite part there was when Spider kind of sees the crazy in her eyes and he hides himself for his life. Yeah. It's like, if I go out there now, she's going to kill me.
Yeah. That last 20-minute sequence is brilliance. Like, I have never seen such an action scene and stories just merged together. And I think a lot of different techniques were used. Because when she goes into rage mode, I think we're meant to be like, like the lighting changes, and she's like an assassin, and you know when she's pulling that arrow, it's a fatality. You know it's
you know that was meant to kill.
Yeah, no, because I was kind of like, I know this is PG-13, but I was kind of shocked at some of the brutality.
Yeah, and remember early in the movie, among the squad of Colonel Quaritch, there's that female soldier.
Yeah, I remember her.
Who's always blowing the bubble from the bubble gum.
Yeah.
So she gets injured from that arrow in the first half of the movie. And then before she shows us too much action, she gets shot in the eye or something.
Right,
Yeah,
really
and
quickly.
it's just like instant kill.
No, their whole squad just gets slaughtered, except Stephen Lang. That's the actor's name, by the way. Because I keep saying the actor's name because he's awesome. But no, because and I also love how they set up the conflict really fast. Because when he crushes the skull and looks at the arrow, he knows who killed him, like his original self. So there's immediately a beef there, and I love that conflict. And I think and one of the great things about this movie was I think it's a realistic portrayal of a married couple because they're so different and so same. But hey, what's interesting is you mentioned it before, but I found it interesting that they have 5 fingers. Like, so that's one of the things like you are also talking about the merging identity here. Like, I'm kind of confused as what they are, and then the other kids call them halfling.
Yeah, and we get some dimension of Kiri because she kind of resents the fact that she's a hybrid.
Does she?
Yeah, because remember she says to her father, Jake Sully, it's like, why am I so different?
No, but that's different. That's not about the hybrid thing because she's completely different from the other ones. She's birthed from her mother. I actually think what's going on is like she's just the same DNA as the mother. I think,
and I think she has more connection to what's the goddess of the nature thing, Awa. Yeah, I think she has some that connection.
I'm gonna make a prediction here. I bet she's actually her.
So there is no father.
Yeah, I think
she's like a clone.
I think the next movie will explain it, but I think like Awa can judge. Like it's like a Jesus Christ story, like fatherless birth, and I think that's gonna be explained.
I kind of get a lot of we talked about different movies, but I also and animations. Yeah. But I also get a lot of Final Fantasy vibe from this movie because we have those secrets hidden in the game.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Like the secret of like some of the secret identities of the characters. If you ever play this game called Final Fantasy, it has a lot of characters.
Yeah. And now that you mentioned that about Awa and stuff, like I wonder what the title of the third movie is gonna be though.
This is the Way of Water.
Yeah.
So maybe the next one will be
Kiri the Airbender.
Maybe. Because now we have sea, we have air, we have forest.
No, because I think her having that power is definitely a foreshadow. Like she's gonna have a Neo moment. I think like a Neo moment. Because you remember in the first movie, correct me if I'm wrong, because I felt like Awa can command all the animals. And like when the humans come, like the animals actually join and then attack them.
Yeah,
like,
that's what happened in the first movie.
Right.
The animals came.
Yeah, and I think what's happening is like Kiri is some kind of Jesus Christ / Neo figure that's birthed like from Awa. Okay, here's another thing. Awa could be the father.
Or I also think that we get a lot of hint that the entire planet is interconnected.
Right.
So I'm thinking maybe in the future, maybe in the sequels, the entire planet will turn against humans.
Well, it's not a hint, Won-Jin, actually, because in the first one they explain it directly. Like there's a neural network, and then they show. I think they show. I could be wrong. They show like a whole. I definitely thought of the Matrix, the whole like blue like wireless network fiber thing going on. So I do think so though, but no, the reason why I asked what the third movie is because remember like this one's about the water, right? And there's a direct message here, but like James Cameron's most this movie is one of the things that you don't need to interpret. It's just right there. Yeah, don't fuck with nature. protect our water. It's sacred. These whales have personalities. They have higher IQs than us, possibly, and they sing songs, like which is like directly from real whales.
And fuck your commercial interests.
Yeah. But a movie this is a company finance movie, but still. So the reason why I say that is what is the third movie is it gonna preserve anymore? Like, is it gonna be like air or like protect the magma?
I mean, we were speculating what the second movie was gonna have,
but
we now know that the story itself is, like you said, quite generic. Yet he delivered a great entertainment. So I'm thinking maybe in the following sequels we will also see similar ingredients. It's gonna have a generic storyline, but with amazing entertainment value.
I do think the third one will be the most different one, though, because in sort of a negative note, did this remind me of Matrix Revolution, the second one. What I mean by that is...
Oh, you mean the second one is Reloaded?
Yeah, Reloaded.
Matrix Reloaded.
Because that's an accurate title, because it is basically Reloaded. And this one is the same, because you could argue that this one just has the same plot as the first one, except there's just more characters. So I do think the third one will be like Matrix Revolution, not necessarily in a good way, because in this one, the ending kind of indicates that there will be a sequel, because Stephen Lang is going to be back, and then there's already a conflict set up with Spider, because I feel like Spider was underutilized in this movie. I feel like he got the least attention out of everybody. He's almost like a plot device to tell like the bad guys how to do them. But on the third one, I think maybe he'll grow up a little and play a role to divide the...
Yeah, and I love how when we see Spider, I remind myself a lot of Mowgli from the Jungle Book.
Oh, that's good. I hated his hairstyle, though. It kept reminding me of Lil Wayne. And I was like...
The dreads?
Yeah, I couldn't take him seriously sometimes. Like, I felt like he was going to rap. Like... I don't know if like, yeah, but anyway, the actor did fantastic though. I really like his scenes with Stephen Lang. Also, you know, Miss Winslet was surprisingly good too. That
and I forgot our Carmela Soprano. Mrs. Soprano moved up the she moved up the ladder. She's I mean, not even a capo. She's a general. I was like, she seemed familiar. Where did I? And then I realized, oh my God, it's Carm.
No, but what I want to say, another thing I forgot to almost say was, because it's going to be like Matrix Revolution. You know how Agent Smith keep acting like Neo, and your opponent and you mirror each other, right? So now we got blue people. So the next one, I think the humans are going to come up with even something more malicious, like a copy of what they're doing. So I do think that's going to happen. Like,
you know what I think is Colonel Quaritch? He's going to start his own tribe.
Oh,
and
really?
he's gonna be like another force among the natives.
Oh, that's interesting.
And he's gonna closely collaborate with the humans, and he's gonna try to conquer the planet.
Yo, that makes perfect sense. Just like in real life in Native American, like how they try to divide the tribes between each other. That's really smart.
That's what I think is gonna happen, and that's what I kind of hope to see.
That's very interesting. Hey, that's a great idea, actually. That's a great idea. I really like that idea. Oh, man.
Because although in the first movie, the Colonel hates the Na'vi, but now that he's one of them, and remember in the first movie, he also kind of admires their power.
Right.
And now that he has it, he's going to embrace it to the full.
Could be. Because I felt like him bonding with that flying raptor thing.
That was a badass moment.
Yeah.
Because remember in the first movie they have that stringy thing to make sure the beaks are closed. Yeah. He didn't even have that. Yeah, and Spider basically he was like trying to set him up to get himself killed.
That was
but then
funny.
Yeah. I love the fact that he punched it.
Yeah. No, but like it goes to show like you got to fight fire with fire, and he's becoming more like them, but not with good intentions though. Because I did find some of the scenes where they threatened the tribal people. Yeah, I did find it genuinely disturbing. Because James Cameron did spend 2 hours making us care about these people and their culture, and he humanized them. basically, because this could have been like an alien species that we don't know about. But
just like we see in Starship Troopers.
And then they use children really well, because children are always
innocent.
Innocent and good, and those malicious pranks. But like that threatening scene was kind of horrifying. Like, I thought he would actually shoot one of them,
because we kind of know that he can actually do it.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't have much of a remorse.
Yeah. Oh man. Okay, the negatives. I did have scenes where I thought that's computer graphic. Yeah, I mean, overall, it was amazing, but there were some scenes where I did felt like, I think you mentioned this before we started the podcast. You didn't feel like it broke new ground.
Yeah. So, the first Avatar was only fully appreciated if seen in 3D. But this movie, after watching it, I watched it in IMAX 3D, by the way. It's like the best possible option I had. After the movie, I kind of thought, okay, maybe the 3D isn't really necessary for this one.
Don't you think it's because maybe partly because it's been all done before?
Yeah.
Remember after Avatar, everybody was 3D.
And it's similar to what we felt with Transformers. The first Transformers in 2007, it blew our minds. But then, Revenge of the Fallen, it was already, it had already gotten used to us.
Yeah. But this one, I think, in terms of storytelling, though, I do find the story more mature in a lot of ways than the first one. Like the first one is straight up romance, and then but this one, because this one, like another scene that I almost cried is when Jake enters Awa and then he sees his kid again, and then we've seen this scene before. And James Cameron is like, it's amazing. I'm pretty sure there's a 4-hour version of this movie, like in his studio or something that will get released, a director's cut, or maybe it's gonna be 5 hours. I would not be surprised if that happens, because this is already 3 hours, but I could kind of tell that it was like cut. Like I felt like there were almost moments where I didn't need an extra scene, because it was already long, but I wouldn't be surprised if there were actually like 1 to 2 more scenes in each arc where we kind of get to see what's going on more. And yeah,
there wasn't too much that I didn't like about the movie. One thing I should also mention is the overall experience of that water world, because maybe it's because I watched it in IMAX. I kind of felt I was underwater for 3 hours. That's how immersive the experience was. And I also like the little details in the differences between these tribes, because they're water-based, their tails and their arms, they all are kind of like adapted differently. So that was an interesting take, because they're more, what can I say, optimized for swimming.
Maybe there'll be air people next with like wings and stuff,
like
or
one of those like flying squirrels.
Yeah, that was funny, Won-Jin. I almost laughed, but I held myself together. Yeah, they gotta still look cool, man.
They might be cool, but with these like flaps.
No, like the more likely outcome is the next one. The water people and the forest people are gonna come together. That's more likely, I think. They're gonna come together, and we're gonna see some hybrid war. Because the humans are definitely gonna, I think, up the scale. What you said is a great possibility, but I do want to see more weaponry though. Like one of the best design in this whole movie was actually the whale ship. I loved how it's so like. You could tell that the designers of the creatures and the machines thought of functionality first. They're not like you mentioned transform. They're not like transformer robots. They're actually, you could tell, like the design. I know it's sci-fi, but they all look functional, like pragmatic, and I really like that. Hey, but what I am surprised is, what the surprising thing about like the Avatar universe is, like we don't see any AI and shit. Like that always surprised me.
That's interesting. And I also love the fact that they don't explain any of this.
Yeah. I mean, as someone like who loves Odyssey, you know, like Space Odyssey, 2000, like that's one of the. I think James Cameron wanted a human story. You know, because if you think about it, even in the Terminator, they don't explain Skynet that much. The sequels try to explain it and messed it up. So like, I think in James Cameron's mind, he starts off with like A goes to B goes to C, and then decides which flavor shall I put on. Because even the sperm whale juice, that could be anything, man. That's like basically like elixir. Like so like I feel like I think he's so good at like adding a modern flourish to these old fables. Not fables, but like more Disney movies, Disney-esque movies.
I also love the new designs of the what are they called? The fish? Well, not fish, but the things that they ride. Yeah, they resemble some of the fish that we already know, especially the ones that can fly.
Yeah, you know how they look odd but friendly. I bet they thought it through, because you know, if you want to make a creature like menacing looking, you can do that. You know, look at like Jurassic Park. You know, like, but even the whale with 4 eyes, like I felt like he was a friendly guy. I love how like they can talk to, like, that's amazing. In a lot of ways, I think it's kind of showing that what seems simple is actually much more sophisticated. Because the Na'vi, in a lot of ways, they are like a higher being than the humans, because they can actually talk to these animals, sing songs, and share their stories, and what always amazes me is like the Na'vi must have like different genetic. They must be like have the strength of like 10 chimpanzees, because when those arrows go through those, like, I'm pretty sure those are reinforced steels or glasses. And they're like
they're supposed to be like bulletproof, I'm pretty sure.
No, because like, you know, in the next movie, I can't wait to see the Na'vi catapult, because there's a station and then there's this wooden pecker on the floor, and they're like, General, what the fuck is that? And then boom. You know, like, I don't know,
that
but
would be pretty awesome.
No, but I would say this: it looks awesome. Don't get into it too much.
And Colonel Quaritch, he explains in the first movie briefly, the Na'vi, their physiology is different from humans because their bones have like natural carbon fiber.
Oh yeah.
Inside the bones.
Yeah.
So they probably can jump a lot higher than most humans.
Too bad that didn't save their son, though. That was a really hard, because you know, that was one of the most heart-wrenching moments. Like I think in a James Cameron movie, because I think he rarely shows like human death. Like most deaths are characters that we don't get to know.
Except for, you know, like Titanic. Jack, I'll never let you go.
No, that's true.
And she let him go.
That's true. Oh yeah, but this one was a kid. That was Leonardo DiCaprio. Like I think Leonardo DiCaprio dies a lot in different movies, doesn't he? But here, because I think this has like the effect, because I feel like, because the kid, I don't know who the actor is. I don't think he's that famous. The one that did the children. That's why it kind of works for me, because you know it's not a star. It felt like a real person.
And I like the fact that it was not overly dramatic. It was very sudden.
Yeah. Oh, but their mother sure took it dramatically. Like that was just like that was one of the, like, we already mentioned it. We're gonna mention it twice, because like she was such a badass. Like I wonder, like, if Jake and her ever fight, I don't think Jake can win.
He doesn't have a chance. I can tell. He will not have a single chance against her.
And hats
she's
off,
like a master, like, I don't know, Comanche assassin or something.
And hats off to the actor for maintaining that weird Na'vi slang that we heard in the first one. And I love how he's like speaking normal English. Like it's just it's almost like a international couple going on there. But they make it work somehow. And God,
I also love how Spider made fun of his father's accent.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, but it's a shame though we didn't get to spend a lot of time with the human characters that much. Like, but given that the movie is so long, that kind of makes sense. And
I was kind of getting interested in the scientist who
Yeah,
was on
me
the whale
too.
ship.
Yeah, me too.
Because he kind of seemed like a complex character.
It's kind of rare for I think Cameron. I think he's just like that scientist guy in Terminator 2 because we just
Oh,
get
you mean
him.
the computer guy?
Yeah.
Dyson.
We just get enough of him, but he's basically another plot device. Yeah.
So he works for the bad people, but has a conscience.
Yeah. No, but what's great about this movie is that I guess we just talked about this. It's kind of weird to explain ourselves right now, but it makes sense because the Navis are the actual protagonists. Like the humans are side characters almost. They're like the humans in Transformers, except there the humans are annoying, but here they're not annoying. And the Navi, like the CG on like I can't believe I know they're all different people. Like the graphics was amazing in that. Like, do you think it's all like handwork? Like,
I think they started off with a sketch in hand, and then the rest they're all I think computer generated. But I think they all somehow are shaped that way because they're based on actual human facial movement.
Okay.
You know how they make these
right.
these characters move
Rise
in
of
real
the
life.
Apes.
They have all these like
Yeah.
sensors on them.
Yeah, I know.
And I'm pretty sure they also generated the face according to the actual vocal actor's facial features.
Yeah. Wow. Amazing. I loved all the kids too. Who's your favorite one?
My favorite would be, I think it's Tuk. Because the funny thing is, she's the youngest. I kind of figured out that she's like the bravest of them all. It's like, oh, yo, Sully's got to stick together.
Oh, that was cute. I honestly, that line's happened twice, right? Once when they arrive in the Waterford. The first time I was like, oh, this is disgusting. And the second one was like, oh, fuck yeah, Sully's baby. 'Cause I guess one of the advantages of making the movie long is like if you watch something long enough, you're kind of convinced by the world they mind fuck me. I was like, fuck yeah, Sully's. Let's shed a tear for the boy, but we're gonna stick together, baby. Yeah. No, but my favorite was actually the first kid because I could tell the second one was intentionally kind of like his father, like because I don't know if the original actor looks like that, but when I like looked at the face, he looked like his father inside the movie. He was the most like carbon copy of his dad. And I love that conflict.
I think that's interesting because remember, Jake Sully was also a twin.
Yeah.
And his big brother died.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he gets to have that opportunity to go to Pandora. So I'm thinking with his big brother's death, maybe a lot of things will change for the second son. I forgot his name.
He's the firstborn now. But I forget his name too. But he was basically like almost the main protagonist. Like he took up such a big time. Like we get Jake and the wife and
and he befriends the Tulkun, the whale. That was also a great sequence where he gets lost at sea. Because of those boys. And that fish, that big ass fish, that was fucking menacing. That I almost pooped.
But
that was scary.
I feel sorry for the fish. You know why? Because I guess James Cameron's message is all mammals are our family except the fishes. Because I could tell,
because you can see what was going through the whale's head. Because remember, the whale killed the fish not to eat it. It killed because it had to be killed.
So I felt
that was like a murder.
No, because afterwards, that's why I felt sorry for the fish. I was like, man, Cameron only loves mammals. What about these fishes? Because that's clearly a shark. A parallel to a shark.
And in the perspective of the fish, all his or her actions were very pure. It was hungry. It had to eat. And he was right there.
No, but the movie explains that they have a bond with the Navi, aka Sully's kids, so it's like a human-animal bond. It's basically like if humans and dogs are friends, fuck the other animals, right?
Oh, but anyways, that sequence was great.
Yeah.
It was quite scary.
Yeah.
And then the I also like the story unfolding of the whale. You know, when he goes inside the mouth and has that connection and sees that flashback.
Right.
That was also brilliant, and it kind of also explains how he eventually learned and knows the tactics of the whale hunters. I was thinking that he was gonna get harpooned with that explosive stuff, but at the first one he kind of deflects it with his horn.
Yeah.
And in the second attempt, he basically dodges it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a surprising moment.
Yeah.
That
I
was a
changed my
great
mind.
action.
It's Free Willy with an M16 and some steroids. Because he was just like, he was ready for it. And with a vengeance. It's like a whale Rambo moment. This movie, we should never turn this on in front of killer whales because they're going to figure it out.
Oh my god, that's what we should do to the humans.
Yeah, they're going to get into their
How did we not think
conference.
about this?
They're probably congregating right now in Atlantic about...
Yo, have you seen that movie Avatar?
Yeah, Revenge of the Whales. Like, definitely. Oh, man. But it did make me wonder, though, like... I do want, like, the third one to maybe even go deeper in that. Like, because we have Kiri, so I guess she can communicate with all animals. But if you can do that with a whale, I think you can do that with an intelligent mammal anywhere. So maybe there's like a elephant.
Yeah, like an Ultralisk.
Sure,
from StarCraft.
Yeah, exactly.
Like a badass one.
Yeah, looks kinder with some feathers, probably. Yeah, yeah, definitely. Oh man, but anyway, this is definitely a movie I will be rewatching.
Or like a kaiju.
Oh yeah,
I would love to see a kaiju on Pandora.
No, fuck you, because Awa's gonna come out of the water, right? Reveal herself, my children with these tentacles. Awa, like maybe, and then smash.
Just like in the Eternals, you see how those Celestials are born, and this like giant hand emerges from the sea.
You thought I was a mind network? I'm actually a physical being. This planet is my body, and then boom. Oh man. I do have a concern though. I feel like the third one, maybe the mother will die, maybe, because the fatality rate is increasing.
Maybe, but I'm not sure they would kill off a mother.
I don't know though, but anyway, what would you rate this movie? What would you rate it?
I would give it like an 8.5, maybe 9.
Ah, fuck you.
Because I liked it.
You stingy prick. I'm gonna give it a 9.
Okay.
Yeah, because I would actually put this in the top 3 of my James like Cameron movies. Because I think a lot of his movies can be really heavy because it's like such a big experience. But this one is I'm gonna say it again. I really like what would in other movies seem derivative that has nothing to like maybe less to do with the main plot, but it all merges together. All the arcs are complete. I can't wait to see what happens to these people in the sequel.
Oh, and I also, before we finish, I also love the water people when they're going to war. When they find out their buddies, the whales, have been murdered, they all go crazy. They want war and they like stick their tongue out. That was some like Maori resemblance.
Yeah. Hey, now that you mention
indigenous
that,
New Zealand people.
One big flaw though, I didn't see them much fighting though. Like once the battle starts, like we were focused on the Jake Sully part, but if you're gonna go into that, I'm gonna nitpick here. I felt like they're like the whale team didn't stand a chance. Like I felt like and then the tribe leader and Kate Winslet kind of disappears. I was like, where'd you go?
Yeah, where did they go?
Yeah.
Because remember, there were a lot of them.
Yeah, because after the movie, I realized what the fuck happened. But like the movie does a good job on hyper focusing on the Sully family. But I felt like
they should be swarming the ship.
Yeah, and then it changes to nighttime. I was like, I felt like maybe the human reinforcement would come, but that didn't happen. Because I guess like the third one would do something like that. Because even though in the first movie, I still remember the big fight.
Yeah.
You know, but don't get me wrong. This one had a different vibe. The battle scene had a different flavor. I think because they added water, it's more difficult to somehow shoot.
And also, the battle itself was more personal for the audience, because in the first movie, when we see those battles, we see a lot of these
nameless.
Yeah, nameless Na'vi people that we have no idea.
Yeah, and the nameless humans.
And also the humans and all these machines. So we are not really attached to any of them, except for like Neytiri and Sully.
But didn't Neytiri's brother die or something in the first one? I think.
Well, not the brother, but her sister was supposedly killed after trying to stop the mining thing or something. And her husband to be, before Jake Sully, for lack of a better word, deflowered her. He dies in the battle. Yeah. He gets on this ship and then he like slashes like 5 soldiers or something, and then he gets shot. And then he falls, and then he.
I guess in terms of sci-fi, the first one was actually more interesting because it asks a lot of weird questions. Like, because Jake goes into an alien body. Who is he? He falls in love with an alien woman. Who the fuck is? What's the fuck is going on? It's like her. If you can like marry the android, but this one is actually even more traditional story than the first one. I feel like, because it doesn't actually raise any interesting like sci-fi concepts. It's all been done before. Because
the first movie has that element of the Matrix, where you go into like a different world in a different body. Remember, he couldn't walk, but in this new body, he could run, walk, and whatever. But in the second movie, we lose all of that.
But anyway, it was still awesome. So anyway, that is, I think, our take on Avatar 2: Way of the Water. A little less Tao than I thought it would be, though, because when it said Way of the Water, I almost expected like a Bruce Lee shit, But it was a good title, good movie. Let's protect the water. Don't fuck with whales. And what else do we? What else did James Cameron teach us?
Blood is a strong bond.
Blood is a strong bond. Sullies are one family, awesome all the way. Teenagers are angsty.
Water's thick, but blood is thicker.
Teenagers are angsty. Like, make sure marry a Na'vi wife.
And also it had that Titanic element when that ship was sinking.
Right.
And James Cameron knew his shit.
A lot of the Marine Corps vibe too from Aliens, right? But anyway, that's our take on Avatar 2. We highly recommend it. If you can go to theaters and watch it, please do. It is a very rare these days, a cinematic experience.
If you watch this on your little TV, well, nowadays
they might be big,
like
man.
55 inches, 65, but still, it's gonna be ridiculously less fascinating than watching in the theaters. This is definitely a cinematic experience, so I strongly recommend that you watch this in movie theaters.
Let's help director Cameron make a third one.
I heard they're done with the filming already.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Oh well. Because he did one for like 5 and 6. I think you told me this. Oh shit. So maybe. I wouldn't mind. You know what? At first I was hesitant, but I wouldn't mind coming back again and again to Avatar's world. Anyway, thank you so much. This has been JoeJinMovieSoAwesome. I was Joe.
I was Won-Jin.
We will see you next week.
Merry Christmas.
Bye-bye.